Welcome to the Home Centered Life podcast, where we seek to slow down, opt out of anxiety, and live an unhurried life. We're so glad you're here.
Journey alongside us as we learn about homesteading, homemaking, and living a more simple, home-centered life. Because we think the richest life possible is centered around the home.
So welcome back to the Home Centered Life podcast. We're so glad you're here, and we have a little friend joining us here. So
Little buddy.
our little buddy, he's going to be 9 weeks in a few days. So if you hear little grunting noises, it is not me. But yeah, we're excited to be here. So part of why I share that, besides the fact that you can see there's a blanket being underneath me, is this episode is all about working out at home, why we do it, and how you can do it. And a big part of that is showing up and doing things imperfectly.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think the perfect version of working out, for example, is like we've mentioned before, going to a gym and lifting weights for 3 hours a day. But just like right now, we're showing up as we can. That's a lot of why we do that at home, why we work out at home. And so, yeah, that's what today's episode is going to be about.
Yeah. It's, in a sense, it's kind of two different focuses or foci. Why we work out and why at home as opposed to something else. And I think they each carry their own weight in my mind. Obviously they're interconnected, but I feel like, at least in the way that I remember it, you've been better at this than I have, or at least been doing it for longer than I have. And that's part of the reason why I did it at all, is because I saw you doing it. And I think there's probably a lot of folks who maybe don't have that. You never said anything. You never berated me or judged me, or even, I don't even think you lovingly challenged me. You didn't really do anything. You just did it. And that was probably more motivating than anything else. But if somebody doesn't have that, if you are married and you have kids and neither of you work out in any way, shape or form, that can be, discouraging in its own way. But for me, watching you do that consistently just at home, like you didn't leave and go do CrossFit or whatever. You didn't leave and go for 2-hour-long runs. You just did stuff at home.
Yeah.
That was more motivating. And I think eye-opening too for me than I maybe would have realized. So if you haven't embarked on this journey, it can be really hard to imagine what it looks like.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of folks, when I talk to them, and I even cover parts of this with my clients, because whether we like this or not, physical exercise is foundational to flourishing.
Yeah.
There is no flourishing without being physically active.
Yeah.
And that's not from a judgmental place. It's more of just like our bodies are made to move.
Yeah.
And you don't have a body, you are a body. And if your body's made to move and you're not moving it, you're not flourishing.
Yeah.
And that's and it's hard to kind of imagine what it looks like if you've never gone down this path before. So part of the hope, I think, for us is to share a little bit of what we've done, not so much a like rah, go do this, but more of like, this is what we found works.
And maybe it'll work for you.
maybe it'll work for you, or it'll help,
Yeah.
or it'll open your eyes to a different version.
Right.
I think most people I talk to are caught in a sort of false dichotomy, like, oh, go to the gym for 3 hours or nothing.
Yeah. Right.
Like, whoa, there's so much in between those two.
Totally.
Even going for runs for half an hour seems extreme to me.
Well,
even now,
just to jump in there, I think one of the big things that I like to encourage women in is finding something that they actually love to do.
Yeah.
Because we each have different kinds of bodies. And
I forgot about
I think so many people think the way they have to move
Yeah.
their body is going for a run. And then you see those people and you're just like, man, you look like you'd hate
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And a lot of people even talk about running. I know I'm judging running right now, but a lot of people talk about running like, oh my gosh, I just have to go for a run. It's like, well, what do you actually love? Like, and I think a big part of it is finding what makes you feel good. And so that's kind of the first encouragement.
Yeah.
Let me just pause here for buddy. Hi, bud.
Yeah. I think because you're burping, little buddy. We kind of have versions of this conversation, and again, a lot of the conversation around working out or physical activity or exercise ends up being reacting or judging what we think that has to be.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most common things that people think it has to be is running. And I ran cross country in high school. I liked it then, and I hate running now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if somebody said you need to work out and my mind went to running, I would say I hate working out.
Yeah. That's good.
But that's not
Yeah.
what it has to be. Also, I feel like we see people going for runs and they look miserable. Or they just look like their body looks like it's built to do something else really well.
Right.
That's not running.
Yeah.
So it's not, when we say physical exercise, physical activity, movement, we don't mean running or CrossFit or lifting.
It can be anything.
Or swimming.
Yeah.
It can be anything. It can be dancing.
Yeah. That's something I love to do.
That's a life goal. To do more dancing for our physical activity is a goal for me. But it doesn't, if you find yourself thinking of something specific, like, oh, when you say exercise, you mean a 60-minute run.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean anything.
Well, and even just to maybe even change language, working out can, I think almost working out in that term means going to the gym. And a lot of people, like maybe just, it's easier to just say, move your body, how to move your body at home, like how to do that. I mean, you can call it whatever you want.
How to move your body so it elevates your heart rate.
And yeah, so that's kind of our first encouragement. And I think the second thing that I have learned, especially now that we have kids, and I know some people that are listening don't have kids or you're single, but one of the biggest things that has been cool, our daughter is almost 2 and our little guy is just a few weeks old now, but it's getting to be that example for our kids. And I didn't even realize like the impact that I had on you in just doing it, but our daughter just knows that's a part of our everyday, and she's watching and she's participating in her own way.
Yeah.
And I think it's so cool. Hopefully that is instilling in her this idea of like, oh, mom and dad do this every day. This is a part of what it means to be a healthy human. And she won't even really question it, hopefully down the road. I mean, she'll be on her own journey, but I think that's been a really, really encouraging part. So working out at home, again, I know there are challenges that come when you have little kids, for sure. I mean, 30 minutes can take an hour oftentimes for me, what you think will be 30 minutes. But being able to do it at home also gives you that opportunity to set that example in front of your family and your children.
Yeah. And partially too, because the best physical activity is the one you actually do.
Yeah.
The best exercise is the one you can actually pull off. And I don't think I can pull off going to the gym on a regular basis for a long time.
Yeah.
And I felt that way before COVID happened. So that, and it was additionally advantageous because with the way we had constructed our lives, so little of it actually changed when everything locked down.
Yeah.
Because we already worked out at home.
Right.
We already were living more of a home-centered life.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fascinating. And to say over and over again, just because it's so often misunderstood, we're not trying to say we have done this perfectly or we are doing this perfectly.
Or that we've got it all figured out.
Or that we have it all figured out. For me, watching you exercise at home, I had no desire, but I don't know if inspired is the right word. I don't even know what the right word was, but because of the platform you were using, I was able to select, like, I don't want to work out for more than 3 minutes, and I want it to be a 1 out of 5 and
difficulty.
the 1 out of 5 difficulty, and the type of workout I always selected warm up / cool down for 3 minutes, and for a while that was it.
Yeah.
And then eventually, just because I felt a little bit better, it's like, well, how about 5 minutes? Oh, how about 7 minutes? How about 10 minutes? But for a long time, my workout or my exercise was just a warm up.
Yeah.
And then I was done.
Yeah.
I never ever pushed myself beyond what I felt like doing. And I kind of don't think that's a super helpful approach.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people push themselves.
Totally.
But we're not talking about, this is not like a diet or like a stage.
Yeah.
We're not actors getting ripped for
Yeah.
a part we're playing in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
This has to be the hope is that it is our new life.
That this is just woven into our
Yeah.
life. It is. Yeah. It's become woven in. And I think, again, like I'd say that third encouragement then is to start where you're at and to start really small. And maybe you do currently leave the house and go to the gym. And I know for some people that works really well, and that's great. Maybe this episode isn't for you,
Totally.
but you could also, think about, let's say your kids are sick one day and you can't get to the gym. Like that could be a day you choose to work out at home. But for those of you that haven't even started and think that, again, going to the gym is the only way you can do it, the way I started was, my journey actually started from an eating disorder back in my early teens. And so I've had to overcome that and learn how to have a healthy relationship with my body. So my original way of moving my body wasn't healthy, but I eventually learned that it felt really good and I could do it in a healthy way. But then I started, I think it was in college was when it got really consistent. I had my own time, and I had these workout DVDs that I had and you were doing those with me a little bit after we were starting to date. Remember those?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You didn't like those as much as
I don't recommend doing the same workout. There's 6 videos, but it was the same 6 videos for a long time.
But that was what allowed me to do it consistently, because at the time I didn't know of any other way.
Yeah.
So I don't know, for me, you're better at making up your own workout, but I just like following along with someone else and telling me what to do. But again, doing it in a way that feels good for your body. So,
but to give you a sense of what it can look like, because this has, over the years, and it has been years, it's been almost 10 years of just little step by little step,
chipping away.
But it's become, for me, something that I wouldn't say I'm passionate about it, but I'm really interested in it in a way that I never would have thought possible. And you had mentioned sort of offhandedly that I'm better at inventing my own workouts. A lot of that is just based on research and understanding.
Yeah.
But if somebody is starting out from zero, I think it's incredibly helpful to understand that one study showed that 2 minutes of exercise equates to a 20% decrease in a risk of getting cancer. 2 minutes.
That's good. Yeah. That's good.
Or I was talking with one client and they were sharing with me why they couldn't exercise anymore because of all these diagnoses they had, multiple things going on. But I asked them, I was like, can you go for a walk? And they're like, well, yeah. Then you can exercise. Walking is exercise. It's one of the best forms of exercise in many ways. And a 5-minute walk has the added benefit of getting sunlight in your eyes, which syncs your circadian biology. There's even a thing, if you Google the scientific 7-minute exercise, it's a super simple little 7-minute routine that hits pretty much every body part, every muscle group. And you can do that. But it's the common barriers of feeling like you don't have time. We're talking about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
For a 1/5 decrease in your risk of getting cancer.
Yeah.
We're talking about a 5-minute walk to sync your whole cellular biology.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about 7 minutes and you hit every single muscle group.
Yeah.
So it's not this like grandiose thing, or it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
But if you are a little bit further along in your journey, or you've been working out and you want to know a little bit more about maybe the how we do it at home side, I think that could be the rest of our conversation.
Yeah.
Because it looks different for you
Definitely.
than me, and it looks different right now than it does normally.
We're just in the middle of the newborn stage.
Because we're in the newborns, we're still in the 4th trimester.
Yeah.
And I don't think I worked for the first like 3 or 4 weeks. I don't think I worked out really at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I missed it though, which is a weird thing to say. And that's not something I ever thought I would say. But what does it look like for you in general, and for you right now, being a mom of 2?
Yeah. Yeah. And they're little ones. So I think one of the shifts that I've had to make in my mindset is giving myself more grace, especially now. And this is connected to sleep, because when you're nursing your baby still in the middle of the night and they wake you up, and it's like really hard to get up before them. And so I'm reminding myself, like, we're not even 9 weeks in, part of me goes to the like, oh man, I'm not waking up before my kids yet. And that is what I generally tend to try and do. And so, like I said, I don't really like to make up my own workout. I like to just follow along with someone else. And that's been really great, because then I listen to a podcast or learn something, on YouTube while I'm doing it, or it's been Christmas music season, so we're listening to Jingle Bell Rock all the time right now. And so generally, there's a lot of stop and starts. Sometimes our little guy is in the wrap while I work out, and that's like we talk about, they're like a weighted vest, or, working out while I was pregnant, I still, not to toot my own horn, but I still, because of the way we've set up our life and because it's so woven in, I was able to do that every day. And again, sometimes it was 10 minutes of warming up, and then going for a walk, and so I always try and move my body, between 20 and 30-ish minutes in the morning. Partly because I just feel really stiff if I don't. And I don't know, I think maybe a lot of people feel that, but they don't have language for it if they're not doing that regularly.
Yeah.
But I know how I can feel after I move my body. And then the other like non-negotiable for me is going for a walk. And that to me is less working out and more just like how I pray, how I recenter my life, how that to me is like, no, every single day, no matter the weather, I will be out walking at some point. So, so that's kind of how it looks for me. And then, one thing that I love, our little guys, are you talking to, buddy? Thanks. One thing I also love to do is dance. And so, every few days a week, I like to do, I say, to my little girl, I'm going to go do a song, and just a 5 minutes of dancing can be really refreshing. So that's kind of what it looks like for me.
Yeah.
What about for you?
Pretty much completely different.
Yeah. And that's okay. It shouldn't look the same.
I started out doing Fitness Blender also, especially because I could do the, 3-minute warm up and then be done. And for a long time, I stuck with that. Eventually, we each got a set of dumbbells. So as far as like equipment goes, super low intensity, and not even the fancy dumbbells, like the simple ones you could get at Walmart.
Right. We do have to interject, we do have dumbbells, but you can also do a lot like holding your baby or like grabbing cans of soup or
when we travel, or when we used to travel more, I would hold our daughter and do squats with her. So you can get creative. I do enjoy having dumbbells. And I did the workouts with Fitness Blender for a long time. Eventually, I kind of pieced together that I felt best on the days I mostly lifted. And I feel like maybe I don't know, we haven't talked about this in a while, but in the past we've talked about you feel like more like cardio versus strength training.
I'd say for me, I mean, when you're pregnant and postpartum, I know it's generally not even recommended to do as much lifting. It's not actually
Yeah.
as wise. And I did still
Well,
lift some weights, but I'm just starting to get back in. So I think
Yeah.
part of it too is
yeah.
if you're a mom, where are you at in your motherhood journey? And I
Yeah.
think I'm just starting to want to like lift again. But I did do it, but it was lighter intensity. And
Yeah.
I think it's really important for women's bodies to do strength training too. And so I do enjoy it, but I like to do like, I like to do all of it, but
Yeah.
not as much as you.
For sure.
Yeah.
So left to my own devices, well, one of the things that I think is sort of emerging as we're talking about it, but we haven't called it out yet, is there's an undercurrent of listening to our bodies,
That's good. Yeah.
not like bludgeoning our bodies. This is not what it is. It's, I don't want to work out for more than 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I did. Then 5, then 7, then 10, then 15. Then I did these videos, and some of them were a mix, and some of them were more cardio, and some of them were more lifting. And I always was like, that I feel better the days that I lift versus cardio or whatever. And so that's when I started to research. And no joke, some of my early research was like, how did Chris Hemsworth get that big for the Thor? So you Google like that. Thor workout, and you're like, that's how he did it. And you also learn why that's super unrealistic and unsustainable, and why they only look like that for 5 seconds before they collapse again. Yeah. And you learn, when you do that kind of research, you learn that like for that one scene where they had their shirt off, they like worked out right before it so that they were even bigger than they actually are. Right. It's nuts. Totally unsustainable. But and again, though, I think a lot of people's minds go to those things like, I saw Chris Evans in Captain America. Yeah, he looked that way for 5 seconds for that scene. Yeah. And he doesn't look like that way most of the time. He looked like that most of the time. So, but I started to learn a little bit from doing those kind of things. Yeah. And then I started to listen to more podcasts and really understand the difference between strength training and hypertrophy. And that was a whole thing. Muscle strength versus muscle size and growth. So all that led me to a place where I did start to design my own workouts based on what I was learning. Yeah. And I do record what I'm doing. Yeah. And that was the main thing that I was missing in those videos was they'll tell you whatever they're lifting. Yeah. But I could never remember, what did I lift last time I did this? Yeah. So there wasn't that sense of progress. I was just reading in Essentialism, the single greatest motivator for all humans, research shows, progress.
That's good. Yeah.
The single greatest motivator is a sense of progress. And the second motivator is when somebody affirms you for making progress. The two biggest motivators for humankind are progress. The feeling like, last time I did this exercise, I did this weight, this many sets, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And today's 2.5 pounds more than last time. Yeah. That feeling, though, was made possible when I started to create my own workouts and then track them in a little notebook.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's, again, maybe just coming back to like helping someone that's just starting out on the journey is reminding them like, what's your goal? And I think we have short-term and long-term goals, but I think a big part of why we have interwoven this into our lives so deeply is because we want to live till we're 100 and have as many years together and with our kids as we can and be
healthy,
flourishing too. Yeah. And not, be on a bunch of medicine when we're 80 years old and like we've taken care of these bodies that we've been given. And so I think that's another encouragement. And so just for you, if you're starting out, just like reminding yourself or asking yourself, what's your goal? And again, having maybe a short-term goal and then having a longer-term goal. And not that goals are magical, but, keeps you motivated and helps you remember on the days that it's maybe harder.
Yeah. But also goals are magical.
Yeah.
There's a 300% increase that you'll do something if you get specific.
Right. There you go. Yeah.
If you say, I want to work out, that's that's
Yeah.
great. But if you say, I want to
Mm.
go to fitnessblender.com
Yeah. Yeah.
and do a 10-minute warm up
Yeah.
3 days a week,
Mm-hmm.
you will be 3 times more likely to actually do it
That's good. Yeah.
than somebody who's just like, I want to get physically fit in 2024.
Yeah.
The other thing to kind of toggle back to why we work out, I am almost 40. That's weird to say. But I think a lot of people don't realize that after 40 and every progressive decade after that, if you aren't working out, you're not maintaining strength. You're getting weaker.
Mm.
And it's a small decrease from 40 to 50, but it gets bigger, 50 to 60, and bigger, 60 to 70.
Yeah.
Just to stay at the same level you have today, you have to work out. And this is one of the hardest things to communicate is, and we can even edit this out if it doesn't make sense or doesn't work, but physical activity is not enough.
Mm.
The research shows that actually working out,
Mm-hmm.
like lifting weights just to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why people lose their balance and they fall and they break things in later in life, because their muscles have atrophied for decades. That's a motivator for me.
Mm.
We can leave that out if that's not helpful to other people.
Sure. That's good.
Being physically active is a good thing, is a good way to phrase it. But there is something to be said for actually working out.
Yeah.
In a more intentional sense.
Yeah. Well, and I know, again, if you're just starting and you're at 0,
Mm-hmm.
it can feel like a lot to be like, oh, they work out every single day at home. And I know this will sound
Most
crazy.
days.
Yeah.
Most days.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I
Today
guess
I did calf raises for 20 minutes.
Yeah, but it's something. I think that's the thing, though. It's always something.
Yeah.
And, like walking down, we have a really long driveway. So like walking down the driveway with our daughter, like we've integrated that. And, I always make sure that she and I do a 10 to 15 minute stroller ride. And, like that all counts too. I think it's easy to have black and white thinking about moving your body. And again, seeing that only one version. And so, I think for us, it's just become so interwoven into who we are as people. Yeah. And hopefully we're setting a good example for our children. And I think, I know that for me, it helps me to show up better as a mom and as a wife and as just a human. And, there's all these trickle down effects of working out, like you don't crave as much junky food, and, when we get outside, when you're moving your body, like that's such a healing experience, there's all these other things that come alongside of it. And so, really it's just an encouragement to be healthier humans and you can do it at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. What, do you have anything else to add?
I think if I could be known for saying one thing, thinking of this as foundational to flourishing. And I know I've said it before, but really the goal is flourishing. I mean, we want to live to 100. We want to be healthy all the way to 100. Yeah. I don't want to, from 70 to 100, I don't want to be on life support. Health span
versus
not lifespan, health span.
Health span.
But so flourishing long-term, but flourishing today, I feel better on the days that I work out. I want to go outside and do homesteading projects more when I've worked out.
Yeah.
And there's also a sense of like, part of the reason I do it, or I try to do it first thing, is because the rest of the day can go to pieces, but it's like, well, at least I worked out. And the whole rest of the day can fall apart.
Such a good point. Yeah.
But at night when we go to bed, it's like, well, what were your wins for the day? Well, I worked out. Some days there's more wins than that, but at a minimum, it's that. And that's part of the reason why I do try to get up before the kids get up. Didn't do that today, but in general, that's one of the aims also. Yeah. But instead of putting it in this bucket of you should.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. Experts say, wagging fingers,
Yeah.
it's more like, well, do you want to flourish?
Yeah.
If so, some version of this, and maybe one minute more of it than you are doing now.
Yeah.
And if it's 0, then it's 1 minute total. But if you're already doing it, just maybe a little bit more.
Right.
Or one more rep, or one more pound, or whatever.
And I think my encouragement would especially be for all you moms out there. I think I have a lot of wonderful, amazing friends that think of it again as like this separate part. But if you can just include your kids in it, I know it's not glorious. I do enjoy working out more by myself, but right now I'm in a season of like our little guy's in the wrap some days, or our daughter is, interrupting me every couple minutes, but
or climbing on top of you when you're doing back blows.
Or she's the weights for my bridges that I do. And so, integrating your kids into it, or, finding like your body matters enough, your needs matter enough that you can do this wherever you're at on the parenting journey. Whether it's nap time before they wake up, or if it's after they go to bed at night, if that works for you, or it's, going for a walk with them during the day. It's not selfish to work out or to include your kids in that, because I think it's setting such a healthy example that, actually you're loving them well in the long term. Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us today for our conversation about working out at home.
We hope you found it both helpful and encouraging. If you like this episode, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's a great zero-cost way for you to support this podcast.
You can also find us on Apple and Spotify and leave us up to a 5-star review. One of the amazing things about the world we live in today is that you can help us live a more home-centered life just by leaving a review and subscribing on YouTube.
We look forward to connecting with you again soon. Thank you for joining us as we journey towards living a more home-centered life.